Let us take a look on how Photoshop is laid out. Let's take a look on the document window, which is on the center of the screen. This document was created based on the template we used on the earlier video using the print template for the letter documents. This document window is where you will work on your images. On the top, it is called Untitled-1. Since it is a new document, it is named automatically by Photoshop. You can see at 25%, meaning this is how the document is viewed based on the percent. So technically, this document is currently viewed at 25% only. On the right side of the document window is what we call the panels. The panels on the right include colors, layers, properties, and other panels that contain a variety of controls for working with images. As you can see, this doesn't show most of the things that I have said because this is customized based on my workspace layout. But you can find most of them on the icons over here. One part of these panels that we need to discuss is the layer panels, which organizes your document and its contents. First, we have the layer rows, the layer name, and the preview thumbnail. Each time we open a new image in Photoshop, the image opens in its own document and is placed on a layer. Photoshop represents layers in the document as rows in the layers panel, with each layer getting its own row. Each row gives us various bits of information about the layer. I only have one layer in my document at the moment, so my layers panel is displaying a single row. But as we add more layers, additional rows will appear. To add a new layer to a document, click the new layer icon at the bottom of the layers panel, which is located over here. Upon clicking this icon, a new layer appears on the layer panel directly above the background layer. Photoshop automatically names new layers for us. In this case, it named the layer Layer 1. Notice that we now have two layer rows in the layers panel, each representing a different layer. If we look in the new layers preview thumbnail, we see a checkerboard pattern. A checkerboard pattern in Photoshop is Photoshop's way of representing transparency. Since there's nothing else being displayed in the preview thumbnail, this tells us that at the moment, the new layer is blank. If I click again on the new layer icon, Photoshop adds another new layer to my document, this time naming it Layer 2. We now have 3 layer rows, each representing one of the 3 layers in the document. We can move layers above and below each other in the layers panel by simply dragging them. Right now, layer 2 is sitting above layer 1, but I can move layer 2 below layer 1 by clicking the layer 2, and right now, with my mouse button still held down, dragging the layer downward until a highlight bar appears between layer 1 and the background layer. This is the spot where the layer will be placed. Releasing your mouse button with the highlighted bar appears, Photoshop drops the layer into its new position, and the only layer we can't move in the layers panel is the background layer. We also can't move other layers below the background layer. All other layers can be dragged above or below other layers as needed. When a layer is highlighted, like so, it means it's currently the active layer. Anything we do in the document is done to the contents of the active layer. Each time we add a new layer, Photoshop automatically makes it the active layer. But we can manually change the layer or which is the active layer, by simply clicking on the layer we need. To delete a layer, simply click on it and with your mouse still held down, drag it into the trash bin icon at the bottom of the layers panel. Or you can simply click the layer you want to delete and press delete on your keyboard. It will automatically delete the layer from our layer rows. To copy a layer, on the other hand, click on the layer you want to copy and with your mouse still held down, drag it into the new layer icon. It'll make a copy of that specific layer. Like for example, I made a copy of my background layer by releasing the mouse onto the new layer icon. A copy will appear above the original. In my case, the Photoshop made a copy of my background layer and named it background copy. Notice that it also made this new layer the active layer. It's highlighted on the layers panel. As you can see, it is not also checkered on the thumbnail preview since it is the copy of this layer. We can control a layer's level of transparency from the layers panel using the opacity option directly across the blend mode option on the top of the layer rows. An opacity value of 100%, which is the default value, means that we can't see through the layer at all. But the more we lower the opacity value, the more the layer below it will show through. We can also group the layers using the group icon or that folder icon next to the new layer icon. We also have adding a mask or new fill or adjustment layer and the rest of the icons on the options below, which will be discussed on the advanced lesson about layers in Photoshop. Like the layer panel, there are other panels that you can check for you to use to work with your images. You can find the full list of panels under the window menu. The window menu is located on our menu bar on the top, which composed of many options that we can use for our document. We will discuss more about the menu bar on our next video. But before we head to the next topic, let's refresh our memory by answering this question. What is the purpose of the panels on the right side of the document panel, like color, layers, and properties? Answer this question before you head on to the next video.